For when the people come? Oh, cool. Okay. Do we have a place for them to stay? Are they staying at Hounstein?
Okay. Call the meeting to order. First order of business be the roll call. Welcome back.
Thank you. Present today, we have Lori Reiser, Gary Klimick, Dick Saboth, Keith Roloff, Larry Mack, John Vorwerk, Brian Filzen, Carolyn Marty, and Steve Balza. Ex officio, Mayor Becker, and absent today, Ron Wendinger and Jeremy Reed.
All right. The first order, approval of the minutes. Has everybody perused through the minutes, and is there any additions or corrections that need to be done? If not, I'll take a motion to accept them.
I'll offer a motion to.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Next is financial report. We didn't really have any revenue either. The only thing on the financial is that we do have, there will be a budget meeting, or budget thing we need to apply back before June. I got a copy of it here someplace from Lisa. I don't know where I put it, but anyway, it's asking what we want from the city council again. And is there any, since I wasn't involved in it the last time they did it, well, I'm not sure where it is now.
So the last time was 3570.
Yeah, something like that. And then we would add on to it with our, whatever we bring in from the broad stand. I guess I'll need to get, I've got the paperwork evidently at home, but I've got it to sign and take into Lisa, and she would forward it. If there, is there any additions we would need, or that anybody knows of? Or would that amount that we had last year be sufficient? Oh, here it is, right here. Just pay attention. 3570, yeah, is what we had.
Well, Mr. Chair, we do have an unusual year coming up, and the Big Sister Cities weekend, where we have our formal delegation and the Nielmer Stadtkapelle will involve extra expenses, but we do have a significant reserve to cover those sort of unusual expenses. So unless there are thoughts that costs are going to increase significantly on our trainee exchange, I think the budgeted amount from last year from the city council would certainly work for this group.
Yeah, we do have that 12,000 in that, the one project funds.
So is that a motion? Do we need a motion to?
I'll make that a motion, sir.
Okay, I have a motion to submit our request for funding from the city for $3,570. All in, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. I will make sure I get that to Lisa. All right. Now then, we have, we had a motion the last time for Bridget's expenses. And I think that's all covered now.
Keith, do we need a motion to approve the 4.1 and 4.2 or?
The reports?
The financial report?
Oh, yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to go through the whole thing first, then have like one motion for the whole financials. We can do it individually if you want. Is there a motion to approve the 4.1?
I would move approval of 4.1.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. 4.2, motion and second to approve that payment last month in that amount of a little over $2,000. I don't think, since we already had the motion and it was approved, that should be okay. We accept the rest of the budget. Do we want to do that separately too?
I think we might as well do it separate as.
Okay, then I'll-
As 4.2, I think.
I'll accept the motion to accept that, 4.2.
So move.
And a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Budget requests, that's what we just had gone through, so that one was already covered. Now, the outbound part of the exchange program, locations, it looks like she's going to be working in the legal department for part of it, and then actually legal department of both times, so it seems like they've got that pretty much set up. Now, the inbound, we don't need to do anything with that outbound one, do we? Know that they've got that? Okay, the inbound one, locations, I know there's some people that would, I know at least one that she said she would take them for half of it. What?
Hosting?
Yeah,
Is that Jane?
Jane, yeah,
Or Jane
Jane's,
Mayday?
Jane Mayday
Hulky?
Hulky. She said she would take her for half of it. So we're probably gonna need another one to volunteer to do the second half for,
I would have a contact that had hosted before, prior, that had spoken to me, and that was Greg and Lori Howard. They've
Okay.
hosted in the past for the sister cities, but haven't. They did talk to me around Bachfest time that they'd be potentially interested in hosting sometime again. But
okay.
now that we know we don't have a date there.
Yeah, we still don't have the date. Sounds like it's gonna be more towards fall, so, what we could do is we could table this till next month if you wanna try to get a hold of them, and then and I'll talk to Mayday and make sure be nice to have the dates, but
Okay.
the last correspondence I saw, sounded like it would make Bavarian Blast, but October pretty good.
Has anyone pursued a host business at this juncture?
What does she do? What does Evelyn do? I didn't see any of that. What's her talent? Do we know? I mean, what does she want
Oh, I
to
didn't
do?
bring that
We
along.
had a resume on last month's agenda.
Does anybody?
I don't have it with me today, but
Because I had a thing set up with Design Home Center, but that fit with the kid who was coming, and then I think it must have been COVID or something that happened. I don't know. Don't we need to know before? It'd be nice.
well, we have it in the packet. We don't. I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't have it with me
Yeah,
today, but
I
that
can
from
see the
last
packet
month.
from last month.
Are you-
It needs to stay on the agenda because we certainly have to
Yep.
get that.
No, if we
Oh,
don't
that'll
have
have to
it
be on
locked
the-
in.
Like
That
me to
will
read,
stay on the agenda.
What she had noted.
Yes.
Evelyn Settlemeyer, 25 years old, been working since 2021 as a trainee at the Ulm City Administration in the Department Real Estate and Economic Development. Since completing my Bachelor of Arts in Public Management Studies, I've been taking care of the review of Hospital Stiftung Ulm. Both in my trainee project and in other tasks undertaken within my department, I gained versatile and exciting insights into budgetary, economic, legal, and social issues. I would like to expand my already acquired experiences to include new international experiences and take advantage of the unique opportunity offered by Hans Hughes Exchange Program. So maybe.
There might be an
city manager
opportunity
in the city.
right here within the city possibly.
Yeah.
If
Pia did that one year. A
maybe if
girl
we
named
could,
Pia. She worked here, I think, in the building somewhere.
I don't know if we could ask Lisa if there's, with their EDA or the city manager, if he would have any tasks or see some opportunities there.
If it's anything like the Park and Rec and Street Department or anybody else, they really could use some help.
Oh, that's
They
maybe
didn't
not a
have
bad
They
idea.
didn't have a single kid apply,
This summer
For
within the
summer
city. Yeah.
Really?
Oh.
not a one for the Park and Rec.
Who's running it? Is Tom still in charge of it, Tom?
Oh, he's all done.
Oh, or you leave the city and everything happens. So who would you talk to there? Does anybody know?
I find out from Lisa.
Okay. I mean, I would gladly help with that.
At this, for Park and Rec, who would you talk to?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Cheryl Corman or Liz Malloy?
Okay.
Cheryl's like the deputy sheriff.
Do we think that sounds like it matches this girl that's coming?
Public management, yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would probably be something more in this building.
Maybe something more for City Hall.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Or Park and Rec?
Not Park and Rec, I just brought that up because
Oh, okay.
I just happen to know that they're all a little disappointed. So they would be happy to find, the whole city would be happy to find somebody. So I will talk to Lisa and then I'll report back and see what give her some time to try to, talk to a few people, or I will.
And see if we get the date more pinned down now as well.
Yeah. It'd be nicer to know the dates, but
When will we know the dates?
I don't know.
Especially if we're trying to find some place we want to have some information we can share.
I will get a hold of Lisa again on that too, and see if we can get that at least down to close to the right, the right dates. So we'll table that, and then I'll get a hold of Lisa and try to see what we can do there. Both find the dates and see if there's any areas in here that could use your expertise.
So she does note also in her past job and skills, honorary post in the local sports club of volleyball, traveling, reading, swimming is some of her hobbies and interests. So there may be, if she's maybe a licensed lifeguard, I know they're always desperate for those at Park and Rec, as well as
Yeah.
Kegel might be looking for some
Yeah, it
officials.
would be
for
great if
volleyball.
she did half-time administrative and half-time as a lifeguard.
That's possible.
That would be a well-rounded experience.
Yeah. Okay, I will talk to Lisa about it and see what we can get organized so that we have a better handle on it next month. Okay, old business. I believe this is where you come in on the Nuam tour to Germany. The mayor is going to meet on the May 5th, 25th, 5 o'clock to welcome them. 29 guests, capacity's full. I know Gary's going for sure. You heard any more, Gary, on details on that?
We had a meeting, a week ago?
Yeah, we did have a tour meeting and talked about what one takes as an individual and what one does not, from a broader perspective of the fact that Sister Cities sponsored this particular adventure. One person has canceled out, so with the tour operator, Joe Meyer, there'll be a total of 28 people on a 32 capacity motor coach, so it's the right size group. The one question that has come up, and it's certainly a fine detail. I don't know that it's absolutely necessary that the group have a ceremonial gift to present to the Eberburgermeister who is hosting us on the 25th. I think that's maybe a point for discussion today, especially since we leave in exactly 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I know, Larry, you took some things to, when you went over to Germany and visited them. And do you have any suggestions what we might?
I brought some, I spoke with our past mayor, Boisman, and he had some new all merchandise that was branded with his mayor name on it and capacities, and brought things like that. And then I brought some things from our local brewery and has some gifts and shared them. Just to have something unique.
Yeah. Is there anything in the mayor's closet?
I'm not sure that there's anything that you would like, but certainly if there's one or two of you that would like to meet with me, we could take a look and see what's available. And if that's not to our liking, perhaps we can look at something else.
Miss Mayor, do we have any of the Germantown book that we could bring possibly? That'd be a opportunity. I
And
think.
those are great.
Yeah.
Yes, those are available.
Maybe even a few of those extras so they could leave them at their hotels along their way for coffee books or something.
Sure.
It's a cool idea.
If each of you, or whoever on the tour, puts a few in their suitcase,
There you go.
I'm not sure how many would be needed, but maybe we can find that out through their correspondence and make sure that those certainly would be available.
Yeah.
Well, I know you two are going, right?
Right.
Is there anybody else that's gonna make the journey from the commission? So maybe you two should get together with Kathleen and see what's going on, because
Next week for sure, because there's other stuff that has yet to come up. But
Yes,
we
okay.
do need to have a little gathering.
Is that Gary and okay, great.
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a good idea that we give them, something to kind of commemorate the trip over there. All right, brat stand. I sent it around here someplace to.
It's stranded.
Okay. To sign up for working at the brat stand. Um, I know it's a little early, but if we can, that's fine. If we can't, I know some of you have already signed up,
Yep, I'm already on there.
Me too.
so it's just an informational thing to sign up, and then let Lisa know, and she'll put you on the list, and as we get a little closer, then, we've got considerable amount of time yet. All right, delegates from Ulm. Travel dates are the 5th to the 9th.
The delegation comes a day later than the brass band. Both groups do leave on the 9th, but one leaves fairly late. The delegation leaves, I believe, fairly late in the day from the information Kathleen's passed on. If you could, have you been able to pin down when they might arrive on Thursday evening?
I do not have that information, but we'll work on it.
That will be helpful, and when we meet next week, that we need to pin a note of things that we can request from Ulm.
Sure.
Would be helpful. But information, that's probably one of the few pieces of information we need from Germany. We do have a subcommittee working on the minutia of the visit. Jeremy Reed and Beth Scharf have agreed to help pursue the details that really don't need to be handled at this point in time by this whole group. When we've got our completely baked itinerary, then we can offer it.
Okay, yeah, I got a note from Lisa that said that one thing to mention, Dick drafted a letter of commitment to send to the bus line for donating the driver's hours for the coach bus.
No, not for the drive, just for the bus. We have an individual who's offered his time for driving.
Yeah, the driver's hours
Yeah.
for the coach. And then I've got, here I've got their quotes.
Okay, that was a quote that was offered by a coach company if we had to rent a bus. We were able to get from New Ulm Bus Lines donated school bus to do the city and area tour for the brass band, which will save us considerable bucks. So it's a very wonderful donation of
Yeah.
essentially $1,000 from the local school bus company. It's quite unique and, well, just, they're verbally in. Now I hope they sign our letter of commitment, and then we've got the bases covered.
Okay, is there anything then that I need to sign that send along?
Not that I'm aware of, sir.
Okay. Then, so this one here was just from a private, that's.
That was helping us determine what
Lake
our
Crystal
budget would
Coach,
look
yeah.
like.
Okay, wonderful. Well, that's a nice gesture on their part. Okay, I lost my spot here. Anyway, what's next on the, oh, here we go. Okay. Well, I see, this is your itinerary where you're all kind of going with, I saw that too in there. It looks like they're gonna be kind of busy.
They didn't come here to sleep. They
I
can,
guess
they
not.
can nap in other places, but
I guess not.
be aware that the opportunity to host for those 5 days is certainly going to be available to every one of you commissioners, and we hope that you do participate. We also will need a host / hostess for the official delegation, as they will be escorted around the community in a van, and we need a driver for that van, and just to get them back and forth between different activities during the weekend. So I would hope that would be a possibility with members from the commission to take a day as a driving host for the group. It would particularly entail, well, 3.5 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and possibly half a day on Monday. I don't know that anyone has to take the complete apple, but we'll certainly be in need, and we'll let you know exactly our needs shortly.
Okay. We'll keep this on here.
Yeah, we need to keep it on the
Yep.
agenda for sure.
Then 6.4, signage request, that has been disapproved. They would have to remove something else from the posts in order to put that up there. And that Minnesota Department of Transportation and put a kibosh to that.
It's far from the end of the story. I'm going to be in touch with the city engineer. The initial suggestion of where the sister city partnership sign would be placed doesn't fit automatically. It's just the beginning of the discussion.
I agree. I've met with Terry Sweeney socially, and he has tentatively set up a meeting with me to discuss this very thing about consolidating or figuring out how we can work together to get that sign posted someplace.
Okay, so you'll keep
It needs to stay on the agenda on a regular basis, and there will be other discussions, or further discussions on this issue.
so a little arm twisting coming up.
And you simply have to talk to the next person on the food chain. If we have to work with the county on putting it on a county sign or in a county right-of-way, then that's got to be discussed, or other options. The point is that it's something that we certainly can get posted in the community. I'd like to see it at the gateways to our community. But if that doesn't work, we can certainly put it in a couple of other places within the city, as they have in Ulm and Noyon.
Okay, keep us posted. New business, recognition committee.
Well, our recommendation for recognizing the Concord Singers for their contributions to sister cities is our recommendation. We were looking at Monday, July 10th. And maybe having our meeting that day, of course, because the 3rd is on a Monday this year. 4th of July on that Tuesday. John, you kind of checked out maybe a location?
Yeah, I did check with Shell's Brewery. We'd be able to have either the basement tap room or the main floor tap room. Since if we have it in the evening, Monday through Thursday, they close at 5. Their tap room does. And of course, that would be, it told me $75 an hour to use their tap room. In the past, we've used Concordia Late.
I believe the tap rental comes with a special benefit.
What about food? They don't have, will we not
No,
thinking about
not
doing that?
food.
You won't have food there, no.
Have food included in the
No, I
price.
know that, but we
But I
always have
think the
had
tap
food.
runneth.
But if this is for Concord Singers, we're talking about a lot of people anyway, right? Feeding them dinner. Yeah, so that
We
that
don't
might be too-
necessarily have to feed them. We've done this as a potluck.
Right, right. But we always bought food out there from
You get
them
it from
at the
anyone.
Keiko Club. Yeah, we don't have to do that. I just,
Well, we don't have to get it from the cable club
No.
if we're going to have it.
It's our understanding, John, right, they don't want us to have food if we have it there.
No, we're not allowed to do potluck out there. They said you can bring in anything you want as far as catering or, packaged things like potato chips, et cetera. Apparently, they're concerned about maybe somebody getting sick, and then they'd say, got sick out at Shell's.
we could just make it different. Brewery instead of food. Beer instead, beer, here is bread, right? Beer macht Brot. Did I say that right?
So I guess that's one of the questions. What do you want to have for a venue? I mean, do you want to look at Shells, something different? Do you want to do Concordia Lanes, which is free? But, I mean, it would be something different. I mean,
I like
Steve?
different. If it's a big group, I say, who can potluck first? How many of you are there in the Concord Singers? I don't know.
well, the Concord Singers, I don't think that's going to be an issue.
Okay. You don't think they'll come?
Beverages are more important.
I do too. That's why I'm saying, let's do the brewery instead. Something different.
I like the brewery idea. I think, they have a large enough space for the group.
I think either the upper or lower rooms would work. Actually, the lower room is a little more intimate and provides for probably a more interesting social interaction. But either one, in my thought, might work. I am the business manager. That date happens to be open on our calendar. So it's a case of setting the time and how the invitation should be tendered. And
Well, I assume we would do it, we'd have our meeting probably at 5:15 and then we'd start at 6 o'clock, something like that. Just like we've done in the past.
Is this a private party or a public party?
Always had friends of Sister
yeah,
Cities, but we didn't put anything out, I don't remember.
No.
Kind of word of mouth.
Yeah, it was. Just congratulations on supporting Sister Cities, right?
Well, it was Friends of the Sister Cities Commissioners.
yeah. That was pretty much it.
The press, KNEJ, and the Journal, of course, and for interviews.
and someone works out a plaque or a proclamation or something.
Right. Where does that go then? Does it, if it's going to a group, do you guys have a place where all your plaques are?
We have a room where we
knew they
hide
would.
our valuables.
I knew they would.
Can we confirm beverages, and if there is a cost, what that cost might be? $75 an hour, again, is probably the bartender, would be my assumption.
It's just
It
the,
would be a cash bar.
Cash bar.
And the same thing as at Kegel. I mean, it's a
So we're not
cash bar.
purchasing, we're not buying pitchers, we're just saying, come.
We'll go broke if we do that for the Concord Singers.
That was my question.
There isn't enough in the savings.
Singers, certainly if they bring friends or family, And, and if you
And
open it to
that's
the public.
Basically how we've always done it out at Concordia Lanes too, is, what a beverage of your choice.
Right.
You purchase it, we provide the venue and go from there.
And we could get pretzels and nuts if they don't care about that. We could have that kind of stuff, right?
If it's packaged, yes.
Packaged.
Well, if you're inviting people at 6 o'clock, something that more substantial hors d'oeuvres might be better received.
But if they don't want us to,
Well, we could have a caterer.
It says caterer is fine.
Maybe Searles or Searles Bar and Grill or Good Essence or something as a caterer that could make some hors d'oeuvres. They're available.
Set a budget.
Yeah, then you have to figure out your budget for Sister Cities.
and how many people?
That was why I asked if it was public or private.
I'm sure in the past, it's been at least a couple $100 for the Kiko Club
It
for
has been.
appetizers.
Exactly. About $300 or $400 is what each time it was. And then we all brought other food too, but that's what she provided for us.
Doing a 3-hour rental, we're at about $225 on our rental, and then we want to budget another 400. Put it at 600 total.
What you're planning on having, I mean, that cost could be quite different from one thing to another.
I think you could hold it within that parameter.
Snacks, only snacks, I say.
If they've got beer, those snacks will be plenty.
That's it.
That'll fill them up. Does somebody want to put a budget number on this?
You want to have a not to exceed number, so
Yeah.
That's a
you can
good
just
idea.
order your, pay for the rental and then order through the caterer up to, and then that's it?
Well, the rental's what, 75 an hour?
Have an hour and
And what are we looking at?
3, but I'm guessing 3 hours. 2? 5 to 7.
That's 9 o'clock now.
Eight.
2 hours.
Pick it up at 5.
They never stayed that late. We,
You might as well say 8 o'clock, 5 to 8.
yeah, 5 to 8.
5 to 8, yeah, I think 3 hours sounds about right.
Okay.
Would we want to provide a drink ticket for the honored guests, the Concord Singers? We have some kind of hook to get them to come and join us, or you think they'll come regardless? You guys would
I
know
think if
better.
we do, if we're going to do some appetizers, I think some snacks, I think that's enough. I do.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if we're going down, if we go down to the basement one.
I would
They even
prefer,
have a cash register down there. They don't.
They don't. It's,
No, that's just an
I
open bar,
think-
basically.
I think it is, yes.
Every time we've had a meeting down the basement, there's never been any.
I had a birthday party there and they were paying.
In the basement?
Yep.
Okay.
I wasn't, but they were, so.
Somebody was.
My birthday.
Yeah, really, you shouldn't have to.
Lucky you didn't have to
Well, I
buy
think
it.
that is an item that someone has to, we know what it costs for the
I think,
rental
well, let's-
space, but that's got to be, that is additional detail that the recognition committee needs to deal with, and we'll
Tell me a place, I'll call.
move on.
I'll call some places. Tell me some places to call for snack kind of
Hors
foods.
d'oeuvres or.
Yeah, where? Good Nessun, do they do that?
Searles Bar and Grill or Good
Okay,
Essence.
try those two.
Caterers.
See,
Or you can ask Mona where she gets it from, I'm not
she
sure.
makes it back there.
Yeah,
She does
she's
it.
right
Yeah,
there,
she
yeah.
does it, yeah.
Okay.
Well, being that this is next meeting, correct? So wouldn't you have to have a budget to go into that meeting? Something approved,
July.
not to
But
exceed?
June meeting or not?
Good meeting yet.
Yeah, we have a June meeting.
Okay. well,
When is this event? Oh,
July.
July 10.
oh, I'm missing a month. Sorry.
Skipped one on us, huh?
I'll throw a motion out there to not exceed $600,
Including facility rental.
including facility rental for the recognition for July 10th.
That does not include plaque or whatever, because that's going to be another.
That's
I have
separate.
no idea.
The
That's-
plaque is
yeah,
separate.
Okay, just for the
Yep.
We're looking at the
event
rental
itself.
and the snacks.
Okay.
I'll
I
second.
would give you an
chance to
idea of
find out
what to do, so that would be very helpful.
Okay.
So that we have a motion and a second to not exceed the $600, including the rental and the snacks. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Who seconded?
Needed.
Thank
Okay, who's ordering the plaque and from,
I did.
Printware, you
yeah,
got 'em
printware,
last time,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I wrote something up and I could change that because I wrote it for
gotta-
Holger.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the old one. I just copied something off when they
Okay.
gave it to us. And should I submit it for approval before? No. Okay.
Okay, maybe can you bring an outline to the
I
next
will-
meeting
I
for
will.
June?
Otherwise, I totally trust you, Carolyn.
Big mistake.
I mean, we're not talking
Yes.
a
All
bunch
right,
of money
I will
there
do
either.
it. I'll get it
I know
taken.
you're a trained professional.
Yeah.
In recognition award things.
That's words. We trust you, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Until.
Till. Okay, there was a motion and a second to strike out the language recommended by the committee, and that is in the community, to take that out so that somebody from outside the community that does.
And that's because Carolyn and what she wanted to do for a recognition this year, and we thought, why did it have to be in there in the first place? I don't think we really need it. So that's why we went with annual identify as an individual, business, or organization that has supported sister cities. So that kind of leaves it wide open who we'd like to recognize.
Yeah,
I like that.
I would definitely agree with it. I think it's a good idea to get that verbiage out of there, because it restricts it.
I'd make the motion.
Okay, I have a motion
I'll second it.
and a second to remove that language. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Talk to Lisa. It's always entertaining talking to Lisa. At least she knows what I need to do. I don't always
The
follow it.
Lisas run the city.
She does.
The Lisas, plural.
Yeah, there you
There.
go in there. Yeah, it's Lisa squared. Okay, any announcements? Otherwise,
You know, the one thing when we were looking at the budget, Sister Cities International, $440.
That's what it costs to be sanctioned.
yep,
Simply,
that's
there's
our
nothing you can
sanction
do about
fees.
it. That's the game.
Investigated that a couple years ago.
I know, we
Basically
talked
tell
about it in the
us what-
past, and
The insurance
If you
and
wanna
being
be in
under
there.
the umbrella of the,
is that what it is?
yeah, being under the,
Conversely, there's lots of international things that, in my short time on the committee here, 2 years, that are available to us, but I have never seen any communication from the international brought to this group at all. They have annual conventions, they do all sorts of things, nationally and internationally. Bear in mind that in another lifetime, this organization was recognized twice by Sister Cities International as the best overall program for cities under 50,000. We've been, both in 1980 and 1988, we were recognized in that fashion. I guess I'm just a little surprised that there hasn't been more interaction with the
I've been
international
on the
in
committee
Washington,
off
D.C.
and on for 10 and 12 years. I've never heard anything except when this budget item comes up.
Well,
Every year.
Oh,
we need to stir the pot and say, well, where are the communications? If they're sending out emails with activities and there's paper to go with it, that sort of stuff needs to trickle through the channels to get to us.
that's all I had.
Ask Lisa.
Ask Lisa about that one too. I can do that. I know we've asked her before about that, because every time it shows up, somebody questions, well, what do we get for $440? But it's a membership thing, and I will
Membership
ask her.
mug or something would be nice. I mean,
or sign.
Yeah,
Sing the ex officio.
exactly.
okay, anything else? Otherwise, the next meeting will be Monday, June the June the 5th, right here. I would take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.